Force yourself to act even when motivation fades, because consistency creates change. Courage doesn't come before action. It is born through taking the first step. No plan works until you do. Effort turns intention into achievement. What if you woke up every day knowing exactly what you needed to do, but still found yourself stuck in the same place? What if the biggest barrier between where you are now and where you want to be is not a lack of talent or opportunity, but simply the ability to take action? How many times have you promised yourself that today would be different, only to end the day feeling frustrated and powerless? Taking action is not always easy. And the truth is, most people don't know how to push themselves to move forward when fear, doubt, or distraction get in the way. But what if you could learn how to force yourself to act, to break through those walls, and finally create the life you dream of? What if the secret lies in owning your choices and stepping up like your future depends on it? Now let's dive in. Number 1. Stand up and take control of your choices. Most people wait. They wait for the right moment. They wait for motivation. They wait until they feel ready. But life doesn't reward those who wait. It rewards those who decide. If you want to do something with your life, you have to stand up and take control of your choices. Nobody is going to come and do it for you. Nobody is going to drag you out of bed and put discipline in your hands. It's a decision. It's a moment. It's that quiet but powerful decision you make with yourself that says, this is it. When you take control of your choices, you stop giving your life away to circumstances. You stop blaming your past. You stop waiting on someone else to inspire you. You stop complaining about how hard things are. And instead, you begin to take full responsibility. That's the beginning of action. That's where things change. Because everything in life starts with a decision. And that decision starts with you. You have to become the kind of person who doesn't run away from responsibility. Stand up, face your situation, and say to yourself, I'm the one who is going to change this. Not your parents, not your partner, not the government. You. If you don't take control of your choices, your life will get controlled by your environment. You'll be pushed around by stress, by noise, by the pressure of others. And that's a heavy life. That's a life full of regret. Now, I'm not saying it's easy. Taking control of your choices is not some comfortable process. It's tough. It means saying no when your body wants to say yes. It means showing up when you're tired. It means doing things you don't feel like doing. It means being uncomfortable. But it also means becoming free. It means becoming powerful. It means having direction. And that is worth every bit of the struggle. You see, the moment you choose to take control, you begin to shape your future. And no, you can't control everything, but you can control your effort. You can control your mindset. You can control your priorities. And that's where it all begins. You don't have to feel strong to take control. You just have to be willing. You just have to say, I've had enough of being stuck. That's it. One choice. One step. You don't need a new plan. You don't need a perfect system. You need to look at your life and be honest. Ask yourself, what am I doing with the time I have? Because if you keep doing what you've been doing, you'll keep getting what you've been getting. And if you don't like where you're heading, then it's time to do something different. That means choosing discipline over comfort, choosing growth over excuses, choosing purpose over distraction. Nobody can do this part for you. You have to want it. You have to mean it. You have to look yourself in the mirror and take ownership. You don't owe the world anything, but you owe it to yourself to become better. You owe it to yourself to stop hiding, to stop waiting, to stop hoping and start doing. You owe it to your future to act today, not tomorrow, not when it feels right. Now, every time you stand up and make a better choice, you're building a new version of yourself. Every time you say no to your old habits and yes to growth, you get stronger. And it's not about being perfect. It's about being intentional. It's about taking back the power you've been giving away for years. You're not weak. You're just untrained. You haven't built the habit yet, but you can. And it begins today with one decision to take control. You might feel overwhelmed. You might feel behind. That's okay. What matters is not how far you've fallen. What matters is what you choose to do next. Take a breath. Ground yourself. And decide right now that you are going to take responsibility for your direction. You may not know all the answers, but you do know this. Staying stuck is not an option anymore. You were not made to live small. You were made to rise. And when life gets loud, when your mind tries to pull you back into old patterns, remind yourself you are in charge. Your choices create your results. Your daily decisions shape your future. No one will come and hand you success. No one will force you to grow. No one will magically make you disciplined. You do that by choosing to do what needs to be done, even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. Taking control of your choices doesn't mean you won't fall. You will. But the difference is now you get back up with purpose. You don't stay down. You don't use failure as a reason to stop. You use it as a reason to become more focused. Every setback becomes a lesson. Every mistake becomes a teacher. Because you've made a decision, you're in control now. You've got to train your mind to follow through. You've got to train your body to move, even when it doesn't want to. You've got to stop giving your energy to distractions. You don't have time for that. You've got goals. You've got work to do. You've got a future to create. And no one else can do it for you. This is your life, your responsibility, your time. So stand up. Wake yourself up, not with caffeine or noise, but with clarity. Remind yourself why this matters. Remind yourself who you want to become, and then start acting like that person. Every day, not when it's easy, not when you feel like it. Every day. That's how you take control. You can't wait for confidence to show up. You build confidence by showing up. You build belief by doing the hard things, and realizing that you're still standing. You build strength by pushing through the resistance. And every time you do, you take back a little more power from the world and put it back in your own hands. Start with the small things. Wake up when you said you would. Do the work you promised yourself. Turn off the distractions. Finish what you start. Keep the promises you make to yourself. Those little wins build trust. They build momentum. They teach your mind that when you say you're going to do something, you mean it. And when you get that kind of self-respect, you become unstoppable. People around you might not understand. That's okay. You're not doing this for approval. You're doing it because you made a choice to live differently. To live on purpose. To stop wasting time. To stop living like a passenger. You've decided to take the wheel. And that decision is the most powerful thing you will ever make. There are no shortcuts. There are no secrets. Just you. Your choices, your discipline, your persistence. And it all starts with standing up, not physically but mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and deciding that this is your life. You're not here to survive. You're here to grow. You're here to improve. You're here to push. You're here to make a difference in your own life. Number 2. Face your fears and move forward with courage. Fear is not the enemy. The real danger is what fear does to your mind when you let it sit there. It paralyzes your choices. It silences your voice. It convinces you that you're not ready when the truth is you've just never decided to move. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is standing in the middle of it and acting anyway. The only way out of fear is through it. And you do not need to feel brave to take the first step. You only need to move. There are people who have lived their entire lives behind the wall of fear. They make excuses. They avoid change. They shrink their dreams down to the size of their comfort zone, and slowly they lose the fire inside them. Don't let that be your story. Fear is normal. Fear is human. But fear should never be the one holding the pen that writes your future. The moment you choose to face it is the moment you take back control. You will never feel completely ready to do the hard things. That day doesn't come. If you're waiting for the fear to disappear, you'll wait forever. What changes is your relationship with fear. What grows is your ability to act in spite of it. Because every time you move forward, you prove something powerful to yourself. You show yourself that you are stronger than what you're afraid of. That your goals mean more than your doubt. The world doesn't reward hesitation. It rewards action. Not perfect action, not confident action, just movement. Fear screams to keep you still. It tells you to stay safe. It makes you believe the risk is too high, but the real risk is staying stuck. The real pain is wasting your potential year after year because you never gave yourself a chance. There is nothing more damaging to the human spirit than knowing you could have and didn't. People will try to protect you from fear. They'll say take it slow. They'll say maybe later. They'll tell you to think about it more. But deep down you already know what you need to do. You don't need more time. You need to decide. You need to face it. You need to prove to yourself that you will no longer be controlled by what scares you. The pain of pushing through is temporary, but the pride of doing it lasts. Think about everything you've missed because of fear. The conversations you avoided, the work you put off, the chances you never took. Are you willing to let that continue? Or is today the day you turn toward the thing that's been chasing you in your head and say enough? Courage is not about being loud. It's quiet. It's personal. It happens in those small private moments when you say, I will not back down this time. Fear will always try to create stories. It will exaggerate the worst outcome. It will whisper lies that you're not good enough, that you're going to fail, that people will laugh. But those are just thoughts. That's all they are. They have no weight unless you agree with them. And once you understand that thoughts can be challenged, everything changes. You're not your fear. You're not your past. You're not the opinions in your head. You are what you do next. You've already made it through so many hard things in your life. Go back and remember the times you felt afraid and did it anyway. That strength is still inside you. It hasn't left. It's just buried under hesitation, under worry, under pressure. And it's your job to pull it back to the surface and use it again. Not once, not when it's convenient, but every time fear shows up to slow you down. People think courage comes from outside, from a mentor, from a video, from a book. But real courage is built by doing the thing. You build it like muscle. It grows with repetition. Every time you face fear and take action, your threshold gets higher. Your belief gets stronger. Your confidence becomes real. Not imagined. Not fake. Real and earned. You've got one life. And fear has already taken enough from you. It's time to stop negotiating with it. It's time to stop letting it set the limits of your progress. You have goals that matter. You have potential that needs to be seen. You have ideas that need to be expressed. And you cannot reach any of them if you let fear take the lead. Step into the discomfort. Move toward the resistance. That is how you grow. No one is fearless. The people you look up to, they all feel it. The difference is they don't stop because of it. They've trained themselves to act in the presence of fear. That's what you need to do. Not once, but again and again until your default response is movement. Until fear shows up, and you nod your head and do it anyway. Because your dreams mean more. Because your time matters. Because you've made the choice to stop hiding. You are not here to be perfect. You are here to be real, to struggle, to push, to rise, to do the things that scare you, and come out stronger on the other side. Stop expecting yourself to be calm all the time. You don't need calm to be effective. You need commitment. You need consistency. You need to stop asking fear for permission and start giving yourself the command to act. Nobody is coming to rescue you from your fear. That's your job. You don't fight it with thinking. You fight it with action. You get up. You step forward. You speak. You move. And in doing that, you begin to build a new identity. One where courage is not an occasional moment, but a habit. Where you face your challenges not because it's easy, but because you've decided to be someone who shows up. That decision will cost you. It will cost you comfort. It will cost you old habits. It will cost you approval from people who don't understand your path. But the reward is freedom. The reward is pride. The reward is waking up and knowing that you didn't shrink. You expanded. You fought back. You took the leap. There is no right time to face fear. The right time is the moment it appears. That's the signal. That's your cue to move. And it won't feel good right away. But you don't need to feel good. You need to move forward. And you need to keep doing it until it becomes part of who you are. You are more capable than you've allowed yourself to believe. You are stronger than the doubt you've listened to. But none of that matters if you don't act. Thoughts don't change lives. Action does. And the first step to that action is staring fear in the face and walking anyway. You will not always win, but you will always grow. And every bit of that growth is yours. Earned, owned, lived. This is how you build your future. Not by running from fear, but by walking straight into it with your head up and your heart steady. That is what courage looks like. That is what forward looks like. That is what you were born to do. Number 3, remove all distractions and focus on one task. The ability to do one thing with full attention has become rare, but it is still one of the most powerful habits a person can develop. In a world where everything competes for your mind, you must take responsibility for protecting it. If you want results that matter, you must learn how to shut out the noise. The human mind was not built to juggle everything at once. It was made to direct deep energy toward meaningful progress. And that only happens when you decide to give one thing everything you have. You cannot build discipline in a storm of interruptions. You cannot gain momentum while shifting directions every 5 minutes. The reason most people never complete what they start is not lack of ability, it's lack of focus. They get pulled into messages, pulled into opinions, pulled into temporary comfort. But none of those things lead to growth. Growth begins when you take back control of your time, your space, and your decisions. Start by getting honest with yourself. What is eating your time? What pulls your mind away when you should be locked in? Is it your phone? Is it the people around you? Is it your own inner restlessness? Identify it. Name it. Don't excuse it. Until you confront your distractions directly, they will keep running your life. You cannot fight what you're not willing to see. Once you know what's breaking your focus, you take action, not tomorrow, not next week. Now you remove the unnecessary. You put your phone away, you log out of the sites that drain your energy, you silence the notifications. You make it harder to fall into the trap of reacting. You don't need endless tabs open. You don't need to keep checking. You need to work. You need to produce. You need to finish what you said you'd start. The best way to develop sharp focus is to create structure. Give yourself a time. Give yourself a place. Give yourself one target and commit to it fully. If the task is difficult, good. That's what makes it worth doing. If it feels uncomfortable, even better. That means you're growing. Sit down. Stay with it. Don't look for an escape every time it gets boring. Mastery lives on the other side of boredom. You have to train your mind to stay. Like a muscle, it gets stronger the more you use it properly. Every time you return to the task after a distraction, you're training your focus. Every time you keep working when your mind wants to wander, you're building discipline. And that discipline turns into results. Small moments of undivided attention turn into finished goals. That's the trade. One of the biggest lies we've been told is that multitasking is efficient. It's not, it's a leak. It breaks your flow. It splits your attention. It makes everything slower and weaker. Your mind is not designed to jump back and forth without consequence. You lose time in the transitions. You lose quality in the confusion. Focus means picking one thing and doing it with full presence until it is done. People who get things done have made one clear decision. They've decided their attention matters. They've decided their goals are more important than their comfort. They've decided to live intentionally, not reactively. That decision changes everything. It makes you protective of your time. It makes you say no to things that don't serve your growth. It helps you stay centered even when everything around you tries to pull you away. You don't need more time in the day. You need more quality in your time. One focused hour will take you further than 5 distracted ones. One clear task finished is more valuable than 10 started and abandoned. Don't chase activity. Chase results. Don't confuse being busy with being productive. Activity is noise. Results are proof. And results come from focus. When you learn how to remove distractions, you learn how to respect yourself. You are telling your mind that the goal matters, that the work matters, that your future matters, and your mind listens. It begins to settle. It begins to clear. It begins to operate with power instead of panic. Most people never give themselves that gift because they don't slow down long enough to reclaim their attention. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being committed. You will slip. You will get pulled away sometimes. That's part of the process. What matters is what you do when you notice it. Do you come back to the task or give up on it? Do you reset your focus or let it drift for hours? The ones who grow are the ones who keep returning, who keep recommitting, who don't let one mistake become a full setback. Your environment matters. Build it to support your focus. Clear the clutter. Keep the tools you need close. Make the space somewhere you associate with doing, not delaying. Every detail you improve makes it easier to stay on track. Don't rely on willpower alone. Design your surroundings to help you win. You have to treat your attention like it's valuable, because it is. Every distraction steals a piece of your progress. Every interruption costs you more than you think. Protect it. Guard it. Own it. Say no when you need to. Block out the noise when you must. And if people don't understand, that's fine. They're not responsible for your goals. You are. In the beginning, focus feels uncomfortable. It feels unnatural. That's because distraction has become normal. But discomfort is not a sign to stop. It's a sign to keep going. Push through the urge to check your phone. Push through the resistance to sit down and work. Every time you do, you become more powerful, more capable, more in control of your direction. This is what separates people who talk from people who act. The ability to focus on one thing until it is done, not to jump from one idea to another, not to constantly start over, but to stay, to work, to finish, to move with purpose. And that purpose becomes visible in your results. Not someday. Now when you choose focus, you choose to move forward. You already have what it takes. You don't need to find it. You need to use it. You need to cut the noise. You need to give yourself the space to lock in and do what matters. That's where the pride comes from. That's where the progress lives. Not in the easy moments, but in the focused ones. That's what you're capable of every single day. Number 4. Start now and stop waiting for perfect conditions. Every day you delay is a day you give away. The time you're waiting for might never arrive. Waiting for the perfect mood, the perfect plan, or the perfect moment is how dreams fade and chances vanish. The people who move forward in life are not those who had it all figured out, but those who were willing to begin while things were still uncertain. There is power in starting. Even when it feels messy. Even when you feel unsure, the decision to take that first real step is what separates talk from transformation. You don't need more advice. You don't need another sign. You don't need more time to think. What you need is to do. Action creates answers. You cannot figure out your path by standing still. You have to walk into it. Even if you don't see the whole road, you can move your feet. And once you move, clarity begins to meet you. Momentum begins to grow. But that only happens after you take the step. Perfection is not real. It's a disguise for fear. It keeps you stuck in planning, revising, hesitating. It tells you that you're not ready when the truth is, you're afraid to begin. But nothing changes until you do. The ones who win are not the ones who had it easiest. They are the ones who acted when others hesitated. They started before the timing was right. They showed up even when they felt nervous. They didn't wait for the fear to go away. They moved anyway. You must stop using conditions as excuses. If you want change, create it. If you want results, earn them. If the environment isn't ideal, then adapt to it. If the timing feels wrong, make the most of it. That's what strong people do. They work with what they have. They don't complain. They don't wait for someone to rescue them. They rise up and start right where they are. Think of all the hours you've lost to hesitation. Think of the opportunities you let pass because you were hoping for a better setup. How much further would you be if you started when it first crossed your mind? It's not too late, but it will be if you keep delaying. You don't need to have everything in place. You need to act. You need to move your energy from your thoughts into your hands. Real progress comes from doing, not from waiting. When you take action now, you take your power back. You stop waiting for permission. You stop hoping for ease. You stop depending on motivation. You replace all of that with a choice. The choice to do what needs to be done. The choice to be responsible for your progress. The choice to live with urgency instead of excuse. You decide that forward is better than perfect. This doesn't mean rushing. This means committing. This means refusing to use your current situation as a reason to do nothing. If your resources are limited, use them wisely. If your energy is low, give what you can. If your path is unclear, move in the direction that makes sense right now. That's how you build clarity. That's how you earn strength. That's how you create change. One action at a time. Nobody begins at the top. Everybody starts in a place that feels small, uncomfortable, or uncertain. But those who grow are the ones who start anyway. They trust that growth will meet them on the journey. You can read every book, take every course, and still stay stuck if you never apply. But the moment you act, everything begins to shift. You start learning for real. You start experiencing for real. You start becoming what you've been thinking about. You don't need to look around for permission. You don't need perfect lighting, or perfect confidence, or perfect timing. Those things are lies we tell ourselves to avoid the discomfort of doing the real work. But the discomfort is not your enemy. It's your beginning. The sooner you accept that discomfort is part of the process, the sooner you'll stop running from the work that matters. Most people let the calendar rule their choices. They say they'll begin on Monday, or at the start of the month, or when the new year comes. But all that time in between is time lost. You could have been moving forward. You could have been building something. You could have been learning what works and what doesn't. Time is not waiting for you. You have to move now or you'll be left behind. Start with what you have. If all you can do today is one step, take it. Don't wait for a better moment. Use the one you've got. That's how habits are born. That's how self-belief grows. Every time you follow through, you send a message to yourself. I am in control. I can change my life. I don't need perfect to begin. I need courage to try. This is your life, and it will not shape itself. If you do nothing, you will drift. If you wait, you will weaken. If you stall, you will lose time that you cannot get back. But if you start now, everything opens up. You give yourself the gift of growth. You stop being a dreamer and become a doer. You stop making excuses and start making effort. And that shift changes your entire direction. Most people overestimate how ready they need to be. You don't need to feel confident. You need to feel committed. You don't need to have it all figured out. You need to care enough to begin anyway. The path gets clearer when your feet get moving. Action reveals what thinking never will. And one small step, taken today, can lead to breakthroughs you never imagined. Don't be the person who spends their life preparing, but never launching. Don't be the person who talks about goals but never takes the first move. Be the one who gets up and gets started. Be the one who builds something real. Be the one who uses every day as a chance to move, to improve, to create. You won't get a better moment than the one you have right now. Use it. Act on it. Own it. That's how you force yourself to take action. That's how you make change non-negotiable. That's how you stop waiting and start becoming. Number 5. Push through pain and commit to your goal. There will come a time when everything inside you wants to quit. The weight will feel heavier than you imagined. The doubt will get louder. The setbacks will sting deeper. And at that moment, when it hurts the most, you will face a choice. Either push through or pull back. Either continue or collapse. And what you do right there defines the rest of your life. Not the good days, not the easy wins, but what you choose to do when it's hard, when it burns, when it feels impossible. Pain isn't just part of the process. It is the process. Growth comes through effort. Strength is built under resistance. And nobody becomes disciplined or unstoppable without first confronting the discomfort that tries to break them. Pain is a signal, yes, but it's not a signal to stop. It's a signal to rise, to stretch, to challenge the limit you thought you had. When you avoid the pain, you also avoid the progress. But when you decide to lean in, everything begins to shift. You must tell yourself that your goal is worth more than your comfort, because comfort doesn't give you much. Comfort keeps you average. Comfort protects you from difficulty, but also keeps you from transformation. You're not here to coast. You're here to rise. You're here to do something meaningful. And if that's what you truly want, you have to earn it. You have to pay for it with focus, effort, sweat, and discipline. Every person you admire has gone through moments they wanted to give up. What makes them different is not talent or luck. It's refusal to quit when it hurt. They stayed in the fight. They stayed in motion. They didn't let the struggle stop them. They let it sharpen them. You have to build that same response. You have to look at your pain and say, I'm not done. I'm just getting started. Because you don't get stronger by stepping away. You get stronger by stepping up. Discipline is not a gift. It is a decision. It's not something you wait for. It's something you choose. Especially when it's hard. When you feel the urge to stop, that's the exact moment you need to stay with it. That's the moment where you prove to yourself what you're made of. Not when you feel great, but when you don't. That's where real growth happens. That's where your future is built. Not in talk or planning, but in showing up through resistance. There will be days where the body aches, where the mind wanders, where nothing feels easy. And those are the days that matter most. Because if you only work when it's convenient, you will stay stuck. You have to work when it's uncomfortable. You have to work when it's quiet. You have to push even when the outcome is far away. That's what commitment means. It means you stop asking how you feel, and you start asking what needs to be done. You may not control every pain, but you do control your response. You decide whether it stops you or shapes you. You decide whether you use it as a wall or as a tool. And that decision will follow you into every part of your life. Pain is temporary, but quitting echoes. Every time you back down, you teach yourself to surrender. But every time you push through, you teach yourself to rise. That's the truth. That's the law of effort. You either shrink or you build. You must define your goal so clearly that it becomes bigger than your excuses. Because when the reason is strong enough, the resistance becomes smaller. When you know why you're doing it, you're more willing to suffer for it. Not suffer without purpose, but suffer with direction. Suffer knowing it's shaping you. Suffer because you're becoming something more. Every difficult session, every lonely hour, every disciplined moment is building something inside you that cannot be taken away. Most people want results without sacrifice. They want change without challenge. But you are not most people. You are here to live with intention. That means walking through the fire without losing focus. That means choosing your mission over your mood. That means committing with every step, not just when it feels good, but especially when it feels heavy. That's where the difference is made. That's how great lives are built, by staying locked in on the outcome, not the obstacle. Your goal deserves more than part-time effort. It deserves full-time belief. And belief is not just something you feel. It's something you prove with action. Every day you show up, you reinforce your vision. You remind yourself that you are serious, that this isn't a wish, it's a decision. And that decision demands endurance. You don't fold under pressure. You get sharper. You get tougher. You get clearer. Keep your eyes on the finish line, but give your energy to the next step. That's how long journeys are completed. One painful, focused, deliberate step at a time. You don't have to conquer the whole thing today, but you do have to conquer today. And tomorrow you do the same. That is how champions think. They don't escape the process. They embrace it, even when it's difficult. Especially when it's difficult. Do not wait to feel ready. Do not wait to feel strong. Strength is something you build on the job. It is forged in the moment you feel weakest, but choose to act anyway. That's where self-respect is born. That's where self-trust grows. When you give your all, even when no one's watching. When you keep your promises to yourself. When you show up even when nobody claps for you. That's real power. That's real purpose. Remember this, nobody can hand you success. It has to be earned. And the currency is pain, commitment, consistency, and sacrifice. You will pay for your goals with long nights, hard days, tough choices, and inner battles. But the reward is becoming someone you're proud of. Becoming someone who doesn't flinch under pressure. Becoming someone who shows up and delivers no matter how heavy the burden feels. When it gets hard, remind yourself why you started. Remind yourself who you're doing it for. remind yourself what it will cost you to walk away, and then get back to it. Because you're not here to live in hesitation. You're here to create impact. You're here to stretch, to grow, to rise. You're here to follow through on your commitments, not only to the world, but to yourself. That's the deepest power you can build. That's the kind of life that matters. Number 6. Write your plan and follow it without excuses. If you're serious about change, you need more than good intentions. You need a real plan, a written plan, something clear, something that gives you direction, a plan that pulls your thoughts out of your head and puts them into structure. You see, what isn't written is often forgotten. What isn't laid out step by step becomes vague. And when your goal is vague, your actions become weak. When the mind has no clarity, the body has no commitment. That's where most people fall short. They think about doing something. They talk about doing something. But they never take the time to sit down and write the exact path they must take. You don't have to figure everything out overnight, but you do have to know what your next move is. Don't rely on memory. Don't trust your mood. You won't always feel inspired. That's why the plan matters. It keeps you grounded when emotions shift. It reminds you what to do when the energy runs low. It tells you what matters when everything else tries to distract you. A written plan is a tool, a weapon, a guide. Without it, you drift. With it, you drive. Start with the outcome. What do you want? Be exact. Don't be vague. Don't write down, "I want to be successful." Write down what success looks like to you. What will you achieve? When will you achieve it? What are you willing to give up to make it real? Then break it down. Don't just write big ideas. Write small steps, daily actions, real efforts. If you want to get fit, write what you will eat and when you will train. If you want to build a business, write what tasks you'll do today to move forward. If you want to change your mindset, write what you'll read, watch, and listen to each day. Once it's written, don't wait for the right moment. Follow it, stick to it, live by it. Whether you feel motivated or not, whether it's convenient or not, don't rewrite your plan just because it feels difficult. Don't change your goal every time pressure builds. Plans are meant to bring structure. They're not meant to comfort you. They're meant to challenge you to rise to a standard. They are not supposed to adjust to your excuses. If you give in to excuses, even the best plan becomes useless. Excuses are the enemy of progress. They sound reasonable in the moment, but they destroy trust with yourself. Every time you say, "I'll do it tomorrow," your confidence shrinks. Every time you skip what you promised, your belief takes a hit. A plan doesn't just guide your effort, it also trains your discipline. When you follow through with what's written, you begin to trust yourself again. You prove that your words mean something. You show yourself that your goals are not just talk. No one ever stumbled into greatness by chance. They built it by design. A well-thought plan is how you build that design. You don't need perfection. You need consistency. You don't need brilliance. You need structure. When your time is planned, your energy becomes targeted. When your steps are mapped, your mind becomes focused. And when your days are directed, your life begins to align. You have to keep your plan visible. Look at it every morning. Check it every evening. Let it guide your choices throughout the day. Don't write it and forget it. Write it and live by it. Remind yourself daily what matters. Remind yourself what you said you would do. If something distracts you, check your plan. If you feel tired, check your plan. If you feel stuck, check your plan. Your plan is not just a list, it's a reminder of who you're becoming. It's a commitment made in writing. And that commitment is what separates you from those who drift through life. There will be days you'll want to throw the plan away. Days where distractions look more appealing. Days where emotions run high. But the purpose of a plan isn't to make things easy. It's to keep you on course when everything else pulls at you. Life is full of noise, full of temptations, full of opportunities to slack off. Your plan is your anchor. It holds you steady when your environment becomes chaotic. When you write your plan, take it seriously. Don't rush through it. Don't copy someone else's process. Write what you are truly willing to do. Don't list what sounds good. List what you will follow, and make sure it aligns with your values. If you value health, make it part of your plan. If you value growth, schedule your learning. If you value excellence, then design days around mastering your craft. Don't leave room for vague entries. Don't write work on goal. Write exactly what the work is, how long it will take, when you will do it. Specifics lead to action. General words lead to delay. And delay is where dreams go to die. You might think you'll remember what to do, but in a busy life, clarity wins. Write it out, print it, read it, carry it, and do what it says. Understand this: your plan will be tested. Life won't care about it. People won't remind you about it. That's your job. Your commitment has to be bigger than your comfort, bigger than your distractions, bigger than your short-term mood swings. Nobody else will enforce your plan for you. That responsibility is yours. If you want the reward, take full ownership of the process. And here's the thing: there's a deep sense of peace that comes from living with a plan, not because everything is perfect, but because everything has purpose. You're not reacting anymore. You're acting. You're moving with direction. You're no longer wasting time on things that don't serve your future. You're making each moment count. You don't need a long list to start. Begin simple. Choose a few non-negotiables. Choose a few steps you will take no matter what. Get those done. Build that habit. Then expand. Add more layers. Add more structure. But never lose the mindset of execution. Planning is useful, but only when it leads to action. Don't fall in love with planning. Fall in love with doing. With checking off what you said you would do. With earning your progress one step at a time. When you look back a year from now, you won't be proud of the days you made excuses. You'll be proud of the days you followed through. Even when it was tough. Even when no one clapped. Even when the rewards felt far away. And all of that begins with a clear plan written by you for you, and followed without compromise. Number 7. Wake up early and take charge of your day. The way you begin your morning often decides the direction of your entire day. When you choose to wake up early, you're not just changing your schedule. You're making a serious commitment to yourself. You're deciding that your goals matter more than comfort, that your purpose deserves more attention than your pillow. Getting up early isn't about being part of a trend or copying someone's lifestyle. It's about giving yourself the quiet space to lead your life on purpose. There's something powerful about rising before the world wakes up. It's quiet. It's calm. It's yours. There are no interruptions, no demands, no noise from the outside. It's you and your vision. It's your time to move ahead before the chaos of the day pulls at you. In those early hours, your focus is stronger. Your mind is sharper. Your thoughts are clearer. That's when you set your intentions, build your mindset, and gain momentum. That's when you separate yourself from those who wait for the day to happen to them. Taking charge of your day doesn't mean having every minute figured out. It means refusing to live on autopilot. It means deciding ahead of time how you'll use your energy. It means not waking up and scrolling through your phone, but waking up and checking in with yourself. What matters most today? What actions will move you forward? What's the one thing you must do that will make everything else easier? If you don't claim those early hours, life will claim them for you. Distractions will fill your time. Emergencies will take over your focus. If you don't make space for growth, space will never show up. Waking up early gives you that space. It gives you an advantage. It gives you a head start that most people throw away every morning when they hit the snooze button. Discipline begins the moment the alarm rings. It's not about how you feel. It's about who you're becoming. When you wake up early, even when you don't feel like it, you strengthen your will. You build a track record of self-respect. You prove to yourself that your actions lead, not your emotions. That simple decision to rise early becomes a symbol of your overall discipline. If you can win the morning, you're far more likely to win the day. And that early time isn't just for planning. It's for doing, for executing, for learning, for building, for moving your body, for developing your character. for working on the goals that get buried under distractions later in the day. People say they don't have time, but time is not given. It's created. It's found in the moments most people waste. It's hidden in the hours people sleep through. You don't have to be extreme. You just have to be consistent. You don't need to get up before the sun every day to prove something. You just need to decide what kind of life you want, and whether your current morning habits are helping or hurting that vision. Are you waking up with intention, or just waking up out of obligation? Are you starting your day with power, or with passivity? The morning gives you a chance to reset, to clear your head, to ground yourself before the demands of others show up. It's when you build the inner strength to face the outside world. The morning is not about speed. It's about clarity. It's not about rushing into work. It's about stepping into the day with direction. Don't just wake up early to be busy. Wake up early to be effective, to be aligned, to be focused. You don't need more time. You need better habits. Waking up early is one of the habits that multiplies every other one. When you own your morning, you stretch your day. You create more moments of purpose. You make time for the work most people keep putting off. You make space for reflection, movement, learning, gratitude. You build a routine that serves your future, not just your comfort. And if you think waking up early is too hard, that's the very reason to do it. Growth doesn't come from what's easy. It comes from choosing what's difficult when it serves your higher purpose. Yes, the bed feels good. Yes, the warmth is comforting. But how long will you keep trading your dreams for a few extra minutes of sleep? How long will you delay becoming who you were meant to be? Getting up early is a signal, a message to yourself that you are done living casually, that you are ready to take control, that you are not waiting for life to hand you time. You are reaching for it, creating it, owning it. Most people don't even realize how powerful their mornings are because they've never experienced a morning led by intention. They've only experienced mornings ruled by hurry, stress, and reaction. When you wake up early, you slow the world down. You give yourself a chance to breathe. You prepare your mind before the world tries to influence it. That's when you read the things that sharpen you. That's when you write the thoughts that clarify your vision. That's when you do the uncomfortable things that later feel like confidence. It's in those moments that you grow, not loudly but deeply. Even 20 minutes can shift your whole day. You don't need hours. You need commitment. You need to say, I matter enough to get up and lead my life instead of waiting for life to push me. No one can do that for you. No coach, no mentor, no friend. This one is yours. Your alarm rings and your future waits. It waits to see if you're serious or still waiting for some magic feeling to push you out of bed. There is no magic, just decision, just responsibility, just the choice to get up when it's hard and do what you said you would. You don't rise early because it's fun. You rise early because the version of you who gets up is stronger than the one who sleeps in, because the path to personal strength doesn't start at 9 a.m. It starts when you decide that progress can't wait until it's easy. Every day is another chance, another shot to get it right. And when you make that early rise part of who you are, it stops feeling like a sacrifice. It starts to feel like identity. You're not just someone who wakes up early. You're someone who leads, someone who builds, someone who refuses to drift. You're someone who owns their time instead of watching it disappear. The real power of the early hours is not in what you do but in what you become. You become someone who keeps promises, someone who rises with purpose, someone who isn't afraid of hard things. And when you carry that identity into the rest of the day, nothing can stop you. Not fear, not doubt, not setbacks, because you've already proven to yourself before the sun even rose that you have what it takes to take charge of your life. Number 8. Hold yourself accountable and finish what you start. Accountability is the foundation of progress. When you hold yourself accountable, you stop making excuses and start owning your results. It's easy to begin something new, but the real challenge is in finishing it. That moment when the excitement fades, when the initial push feels heavy and your energy dips, that is the moment your character is tested. Choosing to keep going when quitting feels easier is what separates those who succeed from those who give up. You have to understand that no one else will be responsible for your dreams. No one else will push you harder than you can push yourself. Waiting for someone to check on you or to motivate you is a recipe for failure. Taking responsibility for your own actions means you're in control of your future. You are not a passenger in your own life, but the driver. When you stop blaming circumstances or other people, you gain power. Power to change, to improve, and to grow. Finishing what you start is a habit that needs to be built carefully. It requires patience and commitment. It demands you look past temporary discomfort and focus on long-term benefits. Every unfinished project, every abandoned goal weighs on your mind. It saps your confidence and energy. Each time you quit, you create a little crack in your self-trust. Those cracks grow until you don't trust yourself anymore. Accountability is about repairing those cracks and building a stronger foundation. Start by making promises to yourself and keeping them no matter what. Small commitments count just as much as big ones. When you promise yourself to write for 10 minutes or to make one call, do it. Don't negotiate or delay. These small wins create momentum and prove your reliability to yourself. With each promise kept, your belief in your ability grows. You build a pattern of trust that changes how you show up in all areas of life. Accountability also means tracking your progress honestly. Don't hide from what you haven't done. Face it. Look at it square in the eye. When you see where you fall short, you can adjust and push forward. Avoiding the truth only prolongs failure. Write down what you need to finish. Create deadlines. Review your progress daily. Hold yourself to a standard of excellence that doesn't bend with mood or circumstance. Your success depends on how seriously you treat your own commitments. Remember that finishing is not always glamorous or exciting. Often, it's tedious work, repetition, and pushing through boredom. The moments you want to quit are the very moments that determine your outcome. It's okay to feel tired or frustrated, that's normal. But pushing past those feelings shows your strength. It builds resilience. It teaches your mind that success requires effort beyond comfort. When you hold yourself accountable, you also learn to accept responsibility for mistakes without blaming yourself harshly. Mistakes are part of the process, not the end of the road. Being accountable means acknowledging errors, learning from them, and moving on without excuses. It means keeping your eyes on the bigger picture and not letting setbacks derail your journey. Accountability is not about perfection, but about persistence. Surround yourself with reminders of your commitment. Visualize the finish line. Picture how completing your goal will change your life. Feel the pride you will experience when you don't quit. When motivation wanes, these mental images serve as fuel. They help you push through moments of doubt and laziness. Use your imagination to stay connected to your purpose. You must also be honest about your reasons for starting in the first place. What made you decide to take action? What do you want to prove to yourself? Hold those reasons close when the going gets tough. They are your anchor. They remind you that your goal matters more than temporary discomfort. They connect you to a deeper purpose that keeps you going even when results feel slow. One of the hardest parts of accountability is resisting the temptation to give in to distractions. The world is full of easy escapes that pull your attention away from what you must do. Social media, unnecessary errands, or even well-meaning advice can all distract you. To finish what you start, you must guard your time fiercely. Protect your focus, respect your priorities. Say no to anything that does not serve your goal. Accountability also means being clear about what finishing looks like. Define the end point in measurable terms. Vague goals allow for endless delay. Specific goals give you a target to aim for. When you see the target, your actions become deliberate. Every step moves you closer to that finish line. Without clarity, you wander aimlessly, which makes it easier to quit. There will be days when you feel like you have nothing left to give. Those are the days accountability matters most. When you force yourself to show up, to put in the work, even when you don't want to, you build muscle for success. You train your mind and body to overcome resistance. Every time you refuse to quit, you rewrite your story. You change your identity from someone who starts things to someone who completes them. The power of accountability lies in consistency. It's not about one big effort. It's about the small efforts repeated day after day. The daily commitment to finish builds habits that no setback can break. That's where real growth happens, in the everyday choices to keep moving forward. When you hold yourself accountable, you stop feeling like a victim of circumstances. You stop waiting for the perfect moment, the right motivation, or the ideal conditions. You realize that progress is made by those who show up and put in the work regardless of feelings or situations. Accountability creates self-respect because you respect your own word. One way to increase accountability is to track your actions publicly or share your goals with someone you trust. When others expect you to finish, your internal drive strengthens. You begin to value your reputation not just with others but within yourself. You don't want to let down those who believe in you. And more importantly, you don't want to let down your own standards. Celebrate progress honestly. Every milestone reached is proof that your commitment works. Don't wait for perfection to acknowledge success. Recognize the power of perseverance and reward yourself for it. This positive reinforcement fuels your motivation to keep finishing. In the end, holding yourself accountable is about becoming a person of integrity. Someone who honors their promises no matter what. Someone who does not shy away from responsibility. Someone who knows that the journey to success requires finishing what you start and doing so with relentless determination. That person is within you right now, waiting to be called forward by your own choices and actions. Take charge of your commitments today. Refuse to give up before the job is done. The way you finish today builds the person you become tomorrow. Every task completed adds to your confidence. Every goal reached strengthens your spirit. Accountability transforms your potential into reality because it forces you to face your actions and refuse to settle for anything less than completion. Number 9. Stop thinking and do the work right now. Thinking can be a powerful tool, but it can also be your greatest enemy when it comes to taking action. The moment you get caught up in overthinking is the moment you lose momentum. You sit and analyze every detail, debate every option, and wonder about every outcome. Before you know it, hours or even days pass without you moving a single step forward. The truth is that endless thinking kills progress. If you want to achieve something meaningful, there comes a time when thinking has to stop and doing must begin. There is a difference between planning and paralysis by analysis. Planning is necessary. It sets direction and prepares the ground for action. But overthinking creates a maze where you get lost in your own mind. When you stop thinking and start doing, you break free from that trap. Action clears your head and simplifies the situation. You learn from doing more than from endless thought. The feedback you get from taking real steps teaches you what works and what doesn't. The problem is not that you have too many ideas or options. The problem is hesitation. You hesitate because you fear failure or uncertainty. That fear steals your confidence and makes the idea of taking action feel overwhelming. Fear convinces you that if you think more, you will find the perfect time or perfect plan. But that moment rarely comes. The only way out is to commit to work right now, regardless of how ready you feel. Work itself is the solution to fear. When you do the work, fear loses power. Action builds courage. The first step may be small or imperfect, but it is enough to create movement. Each step forward chips away at the walls of doubt and hesitation. It turns your abstract fears into concrete progress. The physical act of doing creates momentum that thinking alone cannot generate. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is how quickly they switch from thinking to doing. Winners take imperfect action immediately and refine their approach as they go. They understand that waiting for perfect conditions or a perfect plan is a trap. The real world rewards those who take initiative, not those who dream and debate endlessly. It helps to remind yourself that work done imperfectly is better than work not done at all. The pursuit of perfection often becomes a way to avoid discomfort. You tell yourself you need to learn more or prepare more, but this is just a mask for procrastination. The real growth happens through doing, through facing challenges head-on and learning from mistakes made along the way. Stop giving your mind permission to hold you back. The moment you realize that doing is the antidote to overthinking, you gain power. You begin to control your actions rather than being controlled by your doubts. Action creates clarity, not the other way around. The more you work, the clearer your path becomes. Work itself reveals the answers you were seeking. Many successful people have proven this over and over. They are not those who waited until they felt ready or knew every detail. They are those who took a deep breath, made a decision, and started. Taking that first step breaks the spell of hesitation and opens the door to progress. That step might feel uncomfortable or uncertain, but it is the doorway to results. You must train yourself to move quickly from thought to action. Set a timer if necessary. Give yourself 5 minutes or 10 minutes to start something right now. This creates urgency and removes the chance to overthink. Once you begin, keep going until you build momentum. You'll find that the act of working creates motivation. It's a cycle where doing fuels more doing. There is also a sense of relief that comes from taking action. When you act, you release the pressure of indecision. Your mind stops spinning in circles because it now has something concrete to focus on. This relief can be powerful and addictive in a good way. It encourages you to keep moving forward instead of falling back into hesitation. This approach applies to every area of life, whether you are starting a business, learning a new skill, or improving your health. The formula is the same. Stop thinking about it so much and do the work. No amount of daydreaming or planning replaces the value of effort put in. Results come from doing, not thinking about doing. Understand that your mind will resist this change at first. It wants comfort and safety. It will try to convince you to wait or think more. But the truth is, progress requires discomfort. The courage to act despite fear and uncertainty is what moves you from where you are to where you want to be. Build a habit of starting before you feel ready. Push yourself to act on ideas the moment they come. Don't allow time to pass without movement. This habit rewires your brain to prioritize action over hesitation. Over time, this will become second nature. You will notice your confidence growing because you learn that action always leads to progress. Another key is to break work into smaller parts so that starting feels easier. Sometimes the mind rebels against big tasks because they seem overwhelming. Dividing the work into manageable pieces creates achievable steps. Then start with the smallest step immediately. This simple act gets you moving and stops the mental resistance. Celebrate each step taken, no matter how small. Recognize the power of doing something now, rather than waiting. Every action you complete builds a foundation for the next one. Progress is built from consistent effort, not bursts of energy followed by pause. You become unstoppable when you commit to work right now without delay. Remember that the world does not reward hesitation. Success belongs to those who act decisively. Those who wait for perfect clarity or perfect timing usually miss their chance. You gain control over your future when you refuse to let thinking hold you hostage. Take charge of your life by choosing to do the work right now. Focus on the feelings of accomplishment that come with action. Feel the pride that arises when you prove to yourself that you can push past doubt. Let this feeling motivate you to keep moving. The more you work, the more your confidence grows, and the less you fear failure. You don't need to know everything before you start. You don't need to have every answer lined up. The answers come as you do the work. Taking action is a process of discovery. The lessons you learn through experience cannot be taught or imagined. You get stronger, wiser, and better with every step. Force yourself to leave the thinking behind. Trust your ability to figure things out as you go. When you act first, problems become manageable challenges instead of paralyzing fear. You become solution-focused rather than problem-focused. This mindset shift alone creates a powerful drive toward success. The more you embrace doing over thinking, the more you realize how much unnecessary thinking held you back. You start to see how often you used thought as a way to avoid action. Awareness is the first step toward change.
Once aware, you can choose differently. You can choose to break free from overthinking and step into your potential. Doing now is not about reckless action, but about purposeful effort. It means making a decision to move despite doubts. It means valuing progress over perfection. It means giving yourself permission to start imperfectly and improve along the way. Take control of your energy and focus. Redirect your thoughts from what might go wrong to what you can do right now. Action produces results and confidence that thinking alone never will. Your future depends on the steps you take today. Don't delay or hesitate. Stop thinking and do the work right now.
Number 10, take responsibility and act like your future depends on it. When you understand that your future is shaped by the choices you make today, everything changes. Taking responsibility means accepting that you are the one who holds the power to decide what happens in your life. It's easy to blame circumstances, other people, or bad luck when things don't go the way you want, but blaming keeps you stuck and powerless. Real power comes when you stop pointing fingers and start owning your actions. Your future is not a mystery controlled by chance. It is a direct result of what you do now. Acting like your future depends on it means treating every decision as if it matters deeply, because it does. Every small step you take either moves you closer to your goals or pulls you further away. This isn't about pressure or fear. It's about clarity and urgency. When you truly take responsibility, you stop waiting for someone else to save you or fix your problems. You become your own leader. You become the one who pushes through challenges and refuses to settle for less. Responsibility also means recognizing your mistakes and learning from them. No one is perfect. Everyone fails at times, but those who succeed are the ones who don't avoid their failures. They face them honestly, figure out what went wrong, and adjust their course. This mindset frees you from the trap of self-pity and excuses. It opens the door to growth. Growth comes from taking charge of your life, not from waiting for others to hand it to you. When you act as if your future depends on what you do today, procrastination loses its grip. You realize that putting things off means delaying your own success and happiness. The urgency of responsibility pushes you to get things done now. This energy is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. You gain respect for your time and for yourself. You no longer waste days wondering if you should start. Instead, you start and keep moving. It also changes how you handle setbacks. When you take responsibility, setbacks don't feel like the end of the road. They become part of the journey. You learn to see obstacles as signals to improve rather than reasons to quit. This attitude is a powerful driver of resilience. Resilience is the muscle that allows you to get back up and keep going when things get hard. Without it, the future is uncertain. With it, you become unstoppable. Taking responsibility is not about being hard on yourself. It's about being honest and fair. It means giving yourself credit for what you do well and identifying what needs work. This honest self-assessment is the foundation for improvement. Without it, you are blind to your own strengths and weaknesses. With it, you can build a plan that plays to your abilities and addresses your gaps. This kind of self-awareness fuels progress. You also build stronger relationships when you take responsibility. People respect those who own their actions and keep their promises. When you admit mistakes and work to fix them, you earn trust. Trust is the currency of success in every area of life. Whether it's business, family, or friendships, being accountable makes you reliable. Others want to support and follow someone who takes charge of their own life. The choice to act like your future depends on it creates a mindset of commitment. Commitment means that you don't just talk about goals, you pursue them with all your heart. It means showing up every day even when motivation is low or challenges appear. Commitment turns vague dreams into real achievements because it demands consistent effort. Without commitment, even the best plans remain empty words. This mindset also keeps you focused. When you accept responsibility, distractions lose their power. You become clear about what matters most. You protect your time and energy because you know what's at stake. This focus helps you avoid wasting effort on things that don't contribute to your future. It also helps you say no to temptations that pull you off course. Focus sharpens your actions and increases your impact. Taking responsibility and acting with urgency also changes how you view opportunities. Instead of waiting for perfect chances, you create your own. You stop hoping for luck and start making your own luck through hard work and preparation. Opportunities come to those who are ready and willing to act. When you behave like your future depends on it, you are always prepared to seize what comes your way. It's important to remember that responsibility means being proactive. It's about anticipating problems and solving them before they grow. It's about setting clear goals and making detailed plans to reach them. It's about checking your progress regularly and adjusting your actions. Proactivity keeps you in control instead of letting life control you. When you are proactive, you own your future fully. Responsibility also means managing your emotions. Life will throw challenges that test your patience and courage. Taking responsibility means not letting frustration or fear stop you. It means choosing to act even when you feel uncertain. This emotional discipline builds confidence because you learn that feelings don't have to control your actions. You become the master of your own mind and decisions. When you fully embrace this approach, you inspire others around you. People notice when someone takes responsibility for their life and acts decisively. Your example can motivate family, friends, and colleagues to take control of their own futures. Leadership starts with personal accountability. By showing that you are committed and responsible, you create a ripple effect that lifts others too. Taking responsibility and acting as if your future depends on it means living with integrity. Your words, actions, and habits all align with your goals. This alignment creates trust within yourself. Self-trust is the foundation of self-confidence. When you trust yourself, you act boldly and without hesitation. You believe you can overcome obstacles because you have proven it time and time again. This attitude also teaches patience combined with persistence. Taking responsibility is not a quick fix. It is a lifelong commitment to doing your part. Results may not come overnight, but your steady effort builds a strong foundation. Over time, this consistency transforms your life. Patience keeps you steady and persistence keeps you moving forward, even when progress seems slow. Another benefit of this mindset is freedom. Taking responsibility frees you from blaming others or feeling like a victim. It puts you in the driver's seat of your life. You realize that while you can't control everything that happens, you can control your response. This control is true freedom. It gives you the power to create the life you want despite any challenges. To act like your future depends on it means waking up each day with purpose. It means starting your day with intention and clear priorities. It means giving your best effort in every task because you know it matters. This daily dedication builds momentum. Momentum makes progress easier and more natural. Once momentum is in motion, you are less likely to stop or give up. The responsibility you take today is the legacy you build for tomorrow. Each decision and action you make is a brick in the foundation of your future. You are designing the life you will live years from now by how you act right now. This truth gives power and meaning to every moment. It is why responsibility cannot be ignored or delayed. Being responsible and acting with urgency is the greatest form of respect you can show yourself. It says that your dreams, goals, and potential are important. It says that you are worthy of effort and discipline. This respect grows as you continue to take ownership. It changes how you see yourself and how others see you. In the end, taking responsibility and acting like your future depends on it means making a choice every day. A choice to stop making excuses. A choice to stop waiting for permission. A choice to start doing what you know you must do. This choice is not easy, but it is necessary. It is the difference between a life lived by chance and a life created by design.